Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain back for some more Dungeons and Dragons Online. So here we are back in Meridia. So yeah, the quest we're going to be hitting up today is one that a lot of people really don't like out here in the Vale of Twilight. And it is the Coalescence Chamber. Now to get to this quest, we do want to head off in this direction here. If you can't make this jump, don't worry. This is just simply to run, as it's a little faster running than it is swimming. But if you fall into the water, either way, not a big deal. Now, what you're going to do while you're heading, you will see this bridge here. You want to head just left of the bridge, up onto the land right there. Or, alternatively, you can head over there as well. But I just find that this spot is closer. Alright, now from here we kind of need to head to that little hill there, or in that direction rather. Alright. So here we go, we're gonna head through the log. You can head to either side. I like to be special. And right in front of the little structure there, we do have a small little, almost looks like a something kit. It's just like a little divot in the ground. Now the divot here is an explorer as well. You can run into a named enemy, so I mean, little extra experience and loot is always a plus. Now to get up here, the easiest way is honestly right here. So from the stairs, you're just going to want to look for that first little indent, and you can actually run straight up there. Now up top here, there are two explorers. One right at the shrines, and then one is the quest entrance itself. And the last thing I want to point out is it's kind of a bug, but if you were down on the ground right here, and you actually head under that lip towards the pool of water, it is actually counting you as being underwater. So it's like it's clipping through, and it's just a neat little bug there I wanted to point out. Alright, so here we are, we're going to hop into the quest. And let's get started. Now this is probably the longest and most annoying quest out here in the Vale. As you can see, it is a fairly nice amount of experience, but it can get confusing, and again, it can be long. So the first thing that you want to do, especially if you are doing a full run, so you do want to talk to this guy here. He's going to give you a little bit of information. And as you approach this room, there is going to be some troglodytes, both on the sides here, as well at the center at the portal. Now, the ones at the portal, what's going to happen is they're actually going to keep spawning in X amount of times, each wave getting slightly stronger. Now, you can choose to stop and fight them. Doing so will give you an optional. As well, it will also give you a key for an additional loot chest at the end of this quest. So here we are for those extra guys. So where they're saying find the other end of the portal and close it, you can, of course, just skip this whole section, run to the back of the room, and drop down. So we will obviously get to that, as that is where we need to go to continue the quest. But for now, I am going to show you this optional right here. Now, while you're doing it, you will get some casters. Those are honestly the most annoying ones. Alright, and you're going to want to fight right up until that named Troglodyte appears. So he is our big bad boss there that we need. As you can see, not a lot of hit points. And here he is. So when he dies, you get a little bit of XP, 2,400, so it's not terrible, as well as a gold key. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll fight up top here, sending some of the people down below. And they'll just go through it like that, as this pit here, which is at the back of the room, is a bit of a long way down. Now, personally, I do recommend taking off of your feather fall, as again, it is a long way down, as you're about to see here. So here we go. So even without the feather fall, and hitting the ground fully, you take 68 damage. I've done a lot of testing on this, me and a friend. The most damage that we were ever taking was 100 damage on a fall. And that was, again, no tumble, no jump score, everything that we could think of to lessen that amount. And actually, we never even hit 100. I think we got like 98 was the highest we actually hit. But I do want to point out that obviously as you're falling, if you're hitting any of the edges on the side, you can also get hit by that like 100 points of damage like multiple times. So if you hit nothing, it's once. If you hit one thing, well, you're gonna get hit with that one thing plus the bottom. So yeah. And then you're gonna want to kill, once you get to the bottom, you do want to kill everybody down here. From there, you do want to head north, and we're going to come up through the path. Now, stepping on this little bit of dirt often will spawn in scorpions or bats, so a lot of people like to try to skirt around them just to avoid that extra spawns. Personally, I always step on them because I'd rather kill as I go in order to get conquest than spend so much time at the kind of easy spot to do it. I find it faster overall. At least it feels faster. And we're going to want to proceed to these gates here. Now, once we reach these gates can be trapped. The control panel will be underneath the lever. An easy way to check if you don't have a good spot is just pull the lever. If the trap activates when you pull the lever, the trap is up. If it doesn't, it means you're safe and you can keep going. Alright, So from here, it doesn't matter whether you head left or right, but I do recommend heading north first, as again, it is a dead end, which can provide us with some additional kills. So you do gotta watch out, as there are a few spots which will launch into a ton of bats. So if you are splitting up the party, you know, one guy coming in here, or two, or half the party, however you want to split that up, while the rest continue, you do just gotta watch out, as that instant alert can be difficult and tricky to deal with at times. Alright, so again, we have two directions. The direction here just to the west is again another optional, just a dead end. But this one has a few breakables. Again, just a few spawns. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, the quest itself is relatively simple. The fights are not even that difficult. It's simply the amount of time it takes to get from one end to the other. And then the one part that everybody hates, which is coming up right now. Alright. So the part that everybody hates is the spiral climb. Right here. So our first objective here is we gotta climb the spiral. Now, if you choose to wait at the bottom, you will see this little crystal, and there will be a couple others. Those will eventually get turned into air jets, throwing you way up there, helping you get past this climb a lot easier. Alright, so here we go for the climb. And it's simply a make your way up. Now, a couple of tricks are, and the main trick really is, jump as little as possible. Now, you will see me jumping often. I am actually fairly good at these jumps and such, but if you are having troubles, definitely do not jump, as that is a main reason people end up falling. So obviously if you jump and you miss, or it's also knowing where to jump. If you notice, kill this guy here quick. If you are jumping next or underneath a wall, jumping up will push you off to the side. So all I did there was I just hit jump. I didn't hit sideways or anything like that. As you can see, it is throwing me off to the side. And there are several spots where it will do this. So if you're not very good at the jump, my best recommendation is to just climb. As you can see, we can even there, it lets you just make your way up. And across without any form of jumping. Like, you need a little bit here, but just be careful, and it's not too bad. But once you get a little bit better and a little bit more confident with it, of course you can go ahead and jump. Now you're going to want to proceed all the way up to this section here. As you can see, there is no way to continue up, despite there being more up there that we actually have to get to. But at this time, all we can do is head north. Alright, so there we go. And then we want to head through this hole, heading off to the east. Now, a lot of people tend to just run past these scorpions, and that's, for the most part, fine. But I do want to point out, so they will rubber band. Awesome. However, every now and then, when it does rubber band, it actually makes them immortal. So they will be basically in a state of, you know, when a scorpion, right before the scorpion goes under the ground, it changes their, what type of color they are. So right now they're like a normal white enemy. It'll change them to, for me it's red, which is the color of random NPCs. And it'll change them to that, meaning I can't hit them because it's targeting them as a non-player character. Alright, so from this point here, you do want to head east, as you have another door here. And again, this will just lead you in and around a circle and provide you with some more kills. Now again, I personally like to hit up all these side rooms. Again, I just find it faster overall. As well as there's a couple of breakables every now and then. Alright, so here we are back to the door. And we're gonna head north. Alright, from here, I'm just going to want to head up and around the corner. And here we go. And you're going to want to proceed until we actually reach a second spiral. Right here. Alright. So this one here, again, same thing. As you start making your way up, it's going to spawn in a whole bunch of bats, or should be spawning in bats. And again, you just want to make your way up. Now again, watch your positioning for jumping. That area can be dangerous because you do gotta jump, and again, they have that slope, making it easier to throw yourself off the edge. Now, while you are going, there are a whole bunch of gems, a couple of which I passed there. Don't feel bad about picking them up. Now, a lot of people, they'll complain about you picking them up, saying that that's spawning in enemies later on. Oh, don't do that, it's going to make it harder for us. That is complete BS. Later on, the enemies are going to spawn in regardless of whether you pick any of them up. And they're just, either they don't know any better, someone told them that kidding and they just believe that, or they're just trying to mess with you there. So you want to head all the way up to the very, very top here, and you'll be able to proceed to this chain, or like fence door or whatever. Cage door, that's the one I'm looking for. And you're just going to want to proceed to the back of the room here. So once we this section, again, we have two directions to head. I choose to head south first. Again, it's just kind of a dip around the corner. It's got a couple of kills, breakables. But continuing to head back, you're going to come across a whole horde of bats. As you can see, we jumped all the way up to orange alert. Obviously, if you are doing Reaper, watch out, because with that many bats and that many spawns, there's bound to be at least one Reaper. Alright. So once you vanquish your enemies, we're going to head back. And we're going to head off further west, right here. Now at this point, there is again two directions to head. Well, one direction, two paths. Now you can go through this gate, which can sometimes be trapped as well. You can hop up on this crate and head on over. Now I typically head on the crate and go over this way, as it lets me kill these guys there, so I'm not like kind of pincered while attacking these guys, and then have somebody come up on my side and flank me. Alright, so at the top we got breakables, nothing major. And once we're done, we want to head through this door off to the west. And we want to hop down. Now, this part here, this is the only shrine in this quest, so it is a longer quest, annoying quest. And with only there being one shrine, it's kind of a watch out. And as you see, as you approach the bottom, it does spawn in bats, which again can spawn in reapers. So just what you need right before a shrine, especially if you've been slugging through the quest. Yeah. The next thing we'll have is, once you're done, you can exit. Now, if you can, I definitely recommend saving this shrine, as on the path that I'm taking, we will actually be passing right past the shrine again, or rather, can pass the shrine again. It all depends on which route we take. Alright. Just waiting for the scorpion to pop back up. There we go. So as you see, we're now heading down almost the exact same path that we were before. So using the map, it can get difficult, as, again, layers, you might not know which layer specifically you are on. Especially if you're trying to find party members and the like. Alright, so we're going to continue heading south. Yeah, so you'll notice, again, a pile of bats behind us and some scorpions. Now we can head off left or right, it doesn't matter, but we got some breakable here. Just, you'll notice we do have ransack. And then we're just going to continue down our path. Now, as you notice, we don't have any of the conquest yet, despite how much of the quest we've actually done. Oh, getting it right now, that first part. Alright. So you do need a lot of kills, and typically speaking, unless you're hitting up all these side rooms, and you're going to do this trick method here that I'm going to show you, it does become fairly difficult to actually get enough kills. Alright, so through the door we're going to head north. Alright. So here we go. And at this point, this is where you're going to meet back up to that first spiral that we were at, where we had to stop part ways up as we couldn't progress. As well, it is the one that has the air jets. So once you get to this point, obviously kill the enemies here, but just to our left right there, we have a rune. Now that rune will activate the air jets, so you do want to grab that as soon as you get in here. And you'll notice jet down here, it changed its color from white to orange. Now some of them will turn orange, that means they are not activated. Some of them, however, turn that green, and that means they are activated, and you can actually use them as an air jet to throw yourself up. Now at this point, if you have anybody who is piking at the bottom, they can use those air jets to catch back up to you. And again, you just want to head up. Now again, on the way up, you will have these gems. Now, for the sake of this video, I am going to not pick up any of them, just so I can show you that regardless of picking them up or not, that it still spawns in the enemies. So as you'll notice, I am killing everyone on the way up. I may have missed one, maybe two, depending on, you know, the sections. So I am going to go on that. So even if we round it up to, you know, missing 2 or 3 of these troglodytes, you'll see that definitely on the way back that it was indeed additional enemies and not just we missed a couple. Alright. Now you do want to proceed up until you get to this door here, which has the actual lever. Now you can proceed all the way up to the top, killing them. We do eventually need to do this. Typically speaking, if you're going to pike in the quest, you would want to pike at the bottom of this shaft. Once they pull the lever, or the rune, you could then head on up to the very top of this shaft, as again it takes some people a little bit longer, and you'll come up to this locked door. On the other side of this locked door right here is the end of the quest, but again it is locked and cannot be picked. So we do need to head through this door right here. So here we go. Now inside of here, there will be a named enemy. So as you see, he is orange named, so he can be assassinated and all the like. And yeah, you just need to kill him. Nothing spectacular. From here, you're going to want to loot the chest. Now, one of the chests just has a random key. You will need to pick up the key. Any member of the party, when they open the chest, they will have that option, so don't feel like you got to leave it for somebody. Feel free to go ahead and grab that key. Everyone will get a copy. Now, once you have that key, you're going to want to make your way back to the main shaft here. And as you notice, all of a sudden we have all these extra troglodytes spawning in. So this is what I was referring to earlier, and that you don't have to pick up these gems to spawn in these troglodytes. And as you notice, they're spawned all the way down. So, personally, I like to sit up top and shoot as many as I can. Once I've done that, you do want to actually head down. And you need to head down a good long ways. Actually, almost all the way to the bottom until you can head off to the east. So here we are, still falling, and we're gonna fall down all the way to right here, and this locked door. Now the key that we just picked up will unlock it, allowing you to head into this room here. Now this room is identical almost to the last one. We are going to have a named enemy, and we need to kill him. Just to save us a little bit of time. There we go. So again, same thing. You're going to have a chest that has just a key in it. And again, anybody in the party can pick that up. It will give a copy to everyone. And there you go. Once you have that key, again, you want to proceed to this main tunnel here. And you're actually going to want to use this air jet. Now, you're going to want to use it a couple of times until you can head north. As what we need to do is we actually need to pass, so there it is. We need to head back all the way to that that second spiral shaft that we came across. And as you can see, other than the bats that are respawning as we're passing these locations, we don't really have a lot of enemies here. Again, definitely recommend killing the bats. As you notice, we're now at all the way up to Onslaught. Alright. So here we're going to head north. Off to the left and just follow our path. And this one will take us to that shaft there. Now once we reach the other spiral shaft, we need to head through that door. As you can see, it's not open yet on our map, and that will let us proceed through that one and be able to kill our last of the little bosses there that they have. Now I do want to point out that room up top there is actually going to be where you're going to farm out that conquest. So again, if you've been killing everyone to this point, it will not take long. But if of course you're running past all these scorpions each time and, you know, not killing them all, it'll be that many more that you would have had to have worked out. So here we are. Again, just watch the jumps. Ooh. So, as you can see, even like players like myself will still mess up here and there. It does happen. Obviously, we're not perfect. And I mean, I am far from it. Alright, so once we get here, we can use that silver key to head through the door. And here we are. Now, as we approach, there are going to be a couple of spots that spawn in bats. So our first is going to be right here. Our other one is going to be right here. Inside at that fire pit, you'll notice a giant hole in the roof. What's going to happen is it's going to drop in a gelatinous cube. So the trick is to actually grab the key, or sorry, grab your collectible and just head on out here. At this point, you would stand out here and kill the enemies. Both again here. I'm going to toss another turret. And again, a couple spawn in here. And you would just kill these bats until you have conquest. Because right at this point, this guy can't make it to you. And until he dies, these bats endlessly spawn. Once he dies, however, that is it for the spawn. And you will be stuck with however many bats that you've killed. Now, obviously, for Monster Manual, we do have a Bat Slayer. This is a phenomenal place to do it because, again, they're fairly decent sized groups of bats spawning in, and they endlessly spawn. That is the very important thing. Honestly, what I used to do is I would hop on a Warlock. I would use the Aura, and I would just sit back and let the Aura do its thing. Now, there is a reason I am using this blast type damage for lightning. If you'll notice while I'm attacking it, the cube itself is immune to lightning, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, a few shots make it through and hit him. As you see, he has 19,500 hit points, so he is kind of a bit of a tanky boy. But again, from here, he is stuck, and we simply just don't have to worry about any damage that he could be causing. Alright, so there we now have our conquest. Now conquest, the number does change run to run. It's not a specific static number. I've seen it as low as 420, as high as 480. I've even seen it sometimes where it's taken 500 to hit. So it really can just change there. But once you have it, again, this is an easy spot to get it. Once you have it, simply just kill the ooze. And then when he dies, he is going to drop a key. Now this key is a one-person pickup, so yeah, it's kind of choose who gets it. And then you're going to want to head back to that main shaft all the way up to the top for the end fight. Now, as you see, dangers of doing this on Reaper, because again, bats, each time they spawn in, it is a potential new Reaper spawn as well. You may end up having to deal with them. Alright, so the next part here, as you proceed through the door, we are going to be ambushed. And it is a quest requirement to defeat this little ambush, guys. It's honestly not dangerous. It's not that hard. And it's nothing that you haven't already been dealing with. There we go. Now, once everyone is dead, there are two paths that you can take. You can actually head down and backtrack all the way to that first shaft again. Doing so will actually eliminate a lot of the enemy spawns and will provide you, it is a longer path, but there is no fighting. Heading up, however, there will be new spawns in the path, as you see here. So it may take you a little bit longer to get through, but the path is overall like a shorter run. So another thing people do is, rather than sit in the bats the entire time, they will just head there, kill the guy, kill any bat that spawns as it's doing it, and just keep pushing forward. Now again, as you push forward, you will come across these additional spawns, and they will simply just deal with them as they're spawning, and then hope that these spawns have been enough to get that conquest, and if not, like, they're not overly worried about it. So it comes down to what you're wanting as a group. The other benefit of coming this path here is this is where our shrines were, so it gives you that last chance to use the shrine before our end fight. For me, another great, especially on Reaper, another great place to restore your spell points is that bat section, as the bats are technically enemies and can drop the lost souls. And because they take very little effort to actually kill, you typically can kill more and regen your spell points from those fights. Allowing you to get all your spell points back before moving on. And I know he didn't die, but I'm not gonna wait for him. So yes, I am just running past a few of them at this point. That's just to kind of speed things up a little bit, as we already have our conquest there. And yeah, so all you gotta do is proceed to that first shaft again. And as you can see, they still have a few fairly larger spawns of enemies. So again, you may be able to get that conquest just going through there, but typically people just stand in that room. Once you're back into the shaft, all that's left is to climb the top. So let's go ahead and do that here. And as we killed a lot of the enemies on the way down, we now, on the way back up, as you see, it is fairly quiet, so we don't have to deal with them again on the way back up. So again, dealer's choice. You can hop down and speed past them the first time, but then you might have to deal with them, or you will have to deal with them on the way back up, or deal with them on the way down, and then you don't have to deal with them on the way up. Alright, and here we go. So we got just the 1 or 2 enemies that I did miss. And here we go. So once you head through the door, you are on to the end fight. I know it's been a long quest, but as you notice, again, a fairly large chunk of experience. And obviously, with a experience potion, just that much more. So here we have another group of enemies, one of them being a red-named tiefling, hiding behind that pillar. I can't actually target him yet. And yeah, that is essentially the only guy that you have to kill. Now, once he dies, you will get the completion. There we go. So 55,000 did take us 44 minutes. Obviously, you can definitely speed that time up by not killing in the bat room, as well as the explanations of the video do slow us down a little bit. So from there, here is our end chest, which will again have a stone that we do need to pick up. We do need all 5 of them. Each quest will drop one specific one, and again, it can drop us parts, such as the green briar twigs, for crafting that. Now this chest here to the south, this is the one you get extra if you choose to stop at the beginning of the quest to kill everybody. You unlock it with that gold key. Now if the person carrying the gold key dies, that key does drop, so do make sure you pick that up. And from here, all that's left is to recall and turn in. So I hope you guys enjoyed the quest. Hopefully it wasn't too boring, and hopefully the where you go when you pick up the keys helps a little bit. I know that area confuses a lot of people, but the trick is hop down, head to the east, then you're going to want to head up the jets to the north, and then the last one is in the second shaft. Again, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, all.